In coordinate geometry, one of the very important measure or components is about the meaning of slope. What mean the slope? The slope is the measure of the steepness. That means a slope, the value, will show us is that a really steep line or a relatively flat line or a totally horizontal line. Slope 1, slope 2, slope 3 here. And then based on our understanding, because we want to measure the steepness, this is totally flat, horizontal. So of course, we should design such that the slope of this line is equal to 0. And then going upward, we define as positive. And then the method to show which one is more steep is talking about when we go right by the same distance, how much we go up. So the first case, if we go right, totally we don't go upward. So this is 0. If we go right, maybe it's moved a little bit. This one go up a little bit more. So we use a method to represent it is the ratio between the vertical distance traveled and the horizontal distance traveled. That's why we design a measurement which is called the slope. It's equal to the vertical distance per unit change of horizontal difference. That means vertical distance divided by horizontal distance. In geometric, the vertical differences, that means the y position difference, delta y. Horizontal represented by x-axis, so this is the change. That means the differences of the x position. That's why we use, if we have one point, it's called x1, y1. Another point is called x2, y2. We use the first y coordinate, subtract the second y coordinate. Then we also use x1, first x coordinate, minus the second x coordinates. That's the meaning of slope. And by using this number, if we calculate the value with a greater number, then we know that it's go up in a faster way, more steep. If a relatively smaller positive slope, which means that it's go up a little bit slower, in a slower rate. And if we get 0 slope, that means it's totally flat, totally do not go up when we walk to right hand side. Or a negative slope, that means we are not going up, but inversely we're going down. So this means negative slope. That's the basic of the slope. And there's some property is because of this nature. These are first property, and it's so straightforward. If they have the same slope, that means slope 1 equal to the second slope, maybe let's say 1/2. The first line, maybe the starting point is here. When it's go right by 1, then the y difference will go up by 1/2. That's the meaning of slope. So we have the first line, L1. If this is the starting point of L2, similar reason, go right by 1 will lead to go up by 1/2. That means these two are parallels. L1 and L2 are parallels. If they have the same slope, that means they have the same steepness, which means that they are parallel because their directions are exactly the same. So the first one is straightforward. If M1 equal to M2, then we can draw the conclusion that L1 parallel to L2, the first line parallel to another line. And also, if we don't know about the slope, but in the beginning, if we tell you that L1 parallel to L2, then you can draw a conclusion the slope of the first line should equal to the slope of the second line. This is the first property that you need to memorize, and it's useful to find out more different straight line with different constraints. The second property is not that straightforward. It's because of some calculation, and then we find out they have this property. This time I just tell you the property if L1 this line is perpendicular to the another line, then you can draw a conclusion is the slope of L1 times slope of L2 is equal to -1. The product of the slope is equal to -1. -1 representing opposite, totally different. It's just a very simple explanation in this way, but it's based on some calculation, then we can draw this conclusion. For this stage, you just simply remember this result. Also, this is bidirection conclusion. That means if it's given that slope 1 times slope 2 is equal to -1, then L1, the first line, perpendicular to the second line. If you can prove that their slope, the product of their slope is equal to -1, then they are perpendicular. Or in reverse, if it is given that they are perpendicular, then their slope have this relation.